Well, hello friends. Today we are going to work on some rubber banding. And what I mean by that is we want to be able to do this kind of thing. And, if we have a bunch of icons like this in the file manager, say, then we want to be able to select them like that. And that's not a mechanism that currently exists in Serenity, so we're going to have to build it. Now, excuse me, there are two places where I would like to have this. The first one is in the file manager. So here I would like to be able to rubber band in this view here, definitely, and probably in this view as well, although I'm a little bit less sure about how it should work. But it does seem sensible that you would be able to rubber band if you start somewhere, but at the same time, I'm not sure about this one, but the icon view definitely. Also, in Hack Studio, when you are designing a form like this, say, then it would be cool if I could select, instead of having to control click to select both, I could just rubber band around them. But I think for today we are going to do this in Hack Studio. So that will be in the cursor tool. Which is if you haven't been following along, then the cursor tool is this tool right here. And the idea is that it's a tool that's used for selecting widgets and moving them around, and it's going to be able to resize them. I can't do that yet, but let's also add this rubber banding thing to the cursor. So I think the way the tools work is that they just you just give them the mouse events and the key events that come into the GUI, and then they do something with it. And you only have one tool selected at a time. So depending on which tool you have, you get different behaviors when you click. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm thinking when we click down the mouse with the left button and we hit nothing, I guess that's when we should start, because if you hit something, then you probably want to start dragging that. Or you want to select that. But if you click on nothing, so what we do is we do a hit test, which means that we poke at the GUI and see what widget does this mouse coordinate hit. And then if we hit something, then we hit something and we're not hitting ours, the form itself. Right, so the form itself is the thing that we're interested in. So if you're hitting the form, then that means that you're not clicking on one of its children. Right, okay, so I guess we're here. This is the other case. So I think here we'll always initiate rubber banding. We'll say true. And in mouse up, if we are mousing up the left button, excuse me, and I guess we'll also store the rubber band origin. Is wherever you are clicking down, I guess. And then if we are mouse moving, let's see, if you're dragging something, but if you're not dragging anything, so dragging is when you're moving something around, but in this case we're just rubber banding. So if I'm rubber banding, then we have the current mouse position here, and we have the origin mouse position cached away in let's say point M rubber band origin. Actually, let me Yeah, let me put that up here. Memory layout of this type of object is not terribly important. I mean, it's 44 bytes, and then if you like rearrange these in a stupid way, then it will grow to 48 bytes. But it's not the end of the world. When it comes to like optimizing the layout, the memory layout of a struct or a class, you really want to look at like how many of these do we instantiate. Because there's one cursor tool per application instance, so that's 4 bytes of malloc memory. I was just telling this to myself because in the past I would obsess about these things, and that's a bit of a waste of time, honestly. So, let's paint something. Let's just say painter. Do we have a painter here? Oh god, no, of course we don't have a painter. What am I even thinking? The rubber band should have a origin and a current position. Current rubber band. I guess something like that. Rubber band position. Then we'll just say rubber band position is event position. That's all that we want to do, really. And actually, if m rubber band position is not equal to event position, then we'll set it and we'll schedule ourselves an update, which means that we will repaint. We have to say form widget update. We don't have the form widget. Well, we'll put it like that. Then we have it. Now, how do we get it to paint that? I guess because the rubber band is not available to the form widget when he paints. Because I guess we're just going to have to set the rubber band on the form widget. That would be the easiest. I don't know if I love that factoring, but let's do it that way for now. Set rubber band. We'll do like start and I don't know, origin position, something like that. Maybe there are some typical names for this, but I don't know what they would be. So rubber band position and origin. And we'll say banding false. Okay, so this, we're just going to modify the state on the form widget instead. Set rubber banding. Okay, and then these will value and form widget set rubber band. If m rubber band origin is origin and m rubber band position is position, and return. Update. All right. That's pretty straightforward. So if form widget is rubber banding, and form widget set rubber band, So we can do it like this. Or otherwise this gets a little confused here, so we'll do these separately. Position. Okay. All right. That got a little bit messy, but let's see. And then the cursor tool can just get rid of these things. That's nicer. And then now here we just say, oh, widget set rubber banding false. And I guess when we set the origin, then we can also set the position to the same, just so we don't get ourselves into a weird state where you would like keep the old position and you would like get like a little glitch, rendering glitch, because you're rendering from the origin to the previous position, wherever that was. Okay. Now how do we render this? In form widget, paint event. Or I guess we should do this in the second paint event actually, because form widget has children, so we use the second paint event callback to paint after our children have painted. This allows us to draw on top of them, which is pretty neat. Of course, if we have a selection, we might still want to paint. So if we don't have a selection, rather, but we can skip over. We can skip over painting the selection if we don't have one, but we should still continue down here and paint rubber band. I guess we can just start by doing a line from the rubber band origin to the M rubber band position, color. Magenta. I don't know why magenta. I just want to see something. I feel like I quite often go for magenta for some reason. Okay, well, it's definitely, I can see that there's like a tiny magenta pixel, but then nothing else. And I wonder why. Let's see. Drawing rubber band from M rubber band origin to M rubber band position. All right. And then what does the cursor tool actually say? When we move, if we are rubber banding, then we set the rubber band position, all right? And when we mouse up, we turn off rubber banding. And mouse down, we call set rubber band origin. All right, all right, all right. Let's see what it thinks that it's drawing. Oh, I guess we're not repainting. All right. Set rubber banding, set rubber band position. I would have expected this call to update here to do something. It's a bit surprising. set RBP. See if we at least get these. Seems like we don't get these calls. All right. Why is that? Maybe we return early. Maybe because dragging is always true. Maybe because when does dragging become true? And dragging is true in mouse move. Oh, it always becomes true. Okay, so we gotta just take care of this before. It's fine. Oops. Ah, my nose is itchy as heck. I was just cleaning the bathroom and I got super dizzy from the fumes of this cleaning spray thingy. Very unpleasant. So, alright, so now look at that. Of course, it doesn't actually do anything yet. I mean, it doesn't do anything other than render. And I would like it to be a rectangle instead, because that will be a lot easier to understand. But it's pretty cool. So let's see, how do we turn that into a rectangle anyway? I don't really have a, like, draw a rectangle from point A to point B. So let's make a rectangle out of it. Let's see, so rubber banding, we should make a rect. That would be, maybe we'll make one of, maybe make a helper for this, rubber band. Rect color, why don't we make it, I don't know, blue? No, we're already using blue for another thing in the interface. Yellow is not going to be super great on the video. How about mid magenta? What the heck is that? Mid magenta. Well, that'll be just perfect. Okay, so rubber band rect. If m rubber banding is false, then we'll just turn an empty rect. Okay, so I guess if wait, we want to, one of these should be the top left of the rect, and the other one should be the bottom right of the rect. So if we have 2 points, this is God, I hate 2D stuff. So I mean, I don't hate it. It's kind of fun, but it never seems obvious to me how anything should be done, even though it probably is. Rubber band origin. Maybe we'll return rect from 2 points. We'll make a helper for this so that I can use slightly nicer names or easier names. Rect from 2 points. Call them A and B. That'll be nice. I don't know why this seems important to me right now to do it this way. A.x is less than B.x. So A is to the left of B. A is to the left of B, but if A is to the left of B and AY is to the left of BY, that means that A is the location. I guess we can do it this way. And the size is going to be b.x minus a.x and b.y minus a.y. Okay. Otherwise, if ax is less than bx and wait, I can write it this way. Okay, so if this is not true, that means that a.y is greater than by. And I'm drawing a blank in my brain. If that means that a is below b. A is below b. That means that a is the bottom left. So the location is a translated by 0 on the x and, oh no, hold on. Why is this so tricky? Let's just do the coordinates. So the x coordinate is going to be a.x, and the y coordinate is going to be a.y minus the height, which will be what the heck is the height in this case? The height, if a is below b, then the height is, Jesus, ay minus by. So, and then the width is bx minus ax, and the height is height. Okay, let me see if I'm getting this right at all. Well, they certainly look right. Bloop, 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 bloop. It's kind of neat. All right, so if we go this way, then A is the bottom right. If we go this way, A is the top right. So if A, I mean, we know that here, AX is greater than BX. Right. So we just want to look at if AY is greater than or less than BY. If it's greater than, then A is the bottom right. Okay. So, if A is the bottom right, then the X is BX, the Y is BY. So we can say B is the location, and the size is A.x minus B.x, and A.y minus B.y. It's pretty straightforward, actually. And finally, if A is the bottom left, then wait, am I even saying this right? I feel like I'm not telling the truth now. I'm mixing these up. That's good, that's good. That direction is good. Because B is top left, A is bottom right. And in this case, A is top right, not bottom left, but top right. See, I knew that that felt wrong. So in this case, we still want to return b.x as the x-coordinate, but the y-coordinate is going to be b.y minus height, and then the width is a.x minus b.x, and the height is the height. And height is, I guess, by minus ay. Does that make sense? Please make sense. I feel like there's definitely a way to write this out in some easier way. But today we are riding on that struggle bus. Okay, well that's good enough for me right now. So let's see, what do we want to do with this? And I guess now we want to check if this intersects with some widget. Then we want to select that widget. We want to select everything that's intersected by the rubber band, and everything that's not intersected by the rubber band, we want to let it go. So set rubber band position. FM. How do we have to walk all of our widgets and see which ones are selected. So we got it for each child widget. For each child widget, auto child, and then if child relative rect intersects, and let's grab the rubber band rect, is this rubber band rect, rubber band rect, then where's the selection? The editor selection, right? Editor selection add. We add the child. Selection, maybe disable the hooks, and then we enable the hooks. Or let's just leave those alone for the moment. But when we start out, we can clear the selection. Okay. And then we will select all of the relevant ones that are intersected. Okay, let's see how this works in practice. So, let's make some more. Okay. Oop. Oh, shit. That's so weird. Oh, I guess because it thinks that I'm dragging it because now it's selected while I'm in a drag. It's a bit funny. gotta fix that. That's a weird bug. Cursor tool. So if we are rubber banding, then we are not dragging. So where do we set M? Dragging is true. We gotta make sure that we don't initiate that here. So if not dragging, maybe if we're rubber banding, then we'll just return early because we don't want any dragging logic to take place. So your mouse move while you're in rubber banding mode, then we don't process drag at all. Okay, let's just put these out and then boom, 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 boom. Look how they select over here too. How cool is that? Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Oh, I can actually move them while they're like this. It's a bit weird, but I can dig it. I don't know if that's the final behavior that we want, but this rubber band is so cool. Now, we don't need that line anymore, so form widget. Where's the draw line? Okay. Rubber band draft, we can just simplify things like that. All right. Quite nice. Okay, that's awesome. Let's save. Let's commit this, see what we have. So the rubber banding state is stored on the form widget, which tracks whether it's in rubber banding mode, and it has an origin and a position, right? And then these are just set from the cursor tool. The rubber band rect is a private concern, I would say, so let's make that private. And these things are all really only for the cursor tool to care about, so let's have them take a batch for the cursor tool so that no one else can call them. That tells anyone that these are specifically for cursor tool only. Batch, all right, and class cursor tool. And of course, we'll need to actually make sure that they require badges. So cursor tool. And in cursor tool, just make a batch. Boom. And here's one, and all right. Hack Studio. Rubber bands, selection of widgets. Dispatch implements basic rubber banding. Perhaps this mechanism can be generalized somehow. It's not clear to me how that would work at the moment. Because, you know, I would like to put this in item view and probably other places, but I don't know. Don't know if it can be generalized. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. But let's see if we can maybe draw this in some interesting way. Because the magenta rectangle is nice, but what if we could have like a slight tint or something like that? Let's try to do that. Form widget. Let's see if we can do that. We don't. We'll see. Paint event. Second paint event right here. Okay, draw rect. Let's draw a color with. Let's fill it first. Painter fill rect. Rubber band rect. Color from RGBA. We'll make an RGBA color. That's what I was thinking. So, I don't know, like something purple, right? Like 255, 255, 250. No, like this. And then alpha, we'll do something really not that strong, like 50, maybe. I don't know how this will look, because I think maybe we don't care about alpha values at all in the fill rack code. But I don't remember if I ever implemented alpha there. No, see, it's just totally opaque. So it would be cool if it would respect that. So right now, it just does a fast fill. But we want to do a blend. So if color has alpha, isn't there some like has alpha or is it opaque? No, alpha. Well, what I'm looking for is if alpha is 0xff. So if alpha is 100%, then we just do this code path. And of course, if let's see, if color alpha is 0, then we can just return, I guess. But if we get down here and now we want to alpha fill this frickin' rectangle, alpha blend, blah, blah, blah. I haven't touched this code forever, so I definitely don't remember how to do any of this, but we'll figure it out. Let's see. So here we just get the scan line, and the target is the target bitmap of this painter. So we can probably do something like similar, actually. So that stuff will be the same, but the loop will be different because we're not just going to fill with a certain byte pattern. But we will instead do for j is less than rect width. That's how many pixels we're going to fill or blend or whatever. And then how can we do this? So we have the color in DST. So DST is color DST dot blend with the color argument. Does that work? It's a private constructor. All right, well, from RGB. From an incompatible type. Color. Oh. Wait, what? What does blend return? Returns a color. Oh. Value. Okay. So we extract the RGBA value from the destination, create a color object, and then call blend on it with argument color. And then we assign it back to the destination putter. That doesn't feel like it worked. But probably because I'm not rebuilding enough libraries. Look, draw. All right. This is not what I was hoping would happen. Oh shit, I need to actually move DST forward one step at a time here. So DST plus DST, I guess. Or it's not the end of the world to do it this way. But actually, let's not do it that way. Let's do it this way. DSTJ. And then we can still perform these full scan line skips here. So the point of this DST skip is to skip to the next scan line. So we know how far apart in bytes the scan lines are in the target bitmap. And look at that. Wow. Okay. So place these out and boom. Oh, dude, that's so neat. Okay. Magenta is a bit of a strange color though, because that's not the one I tend to use. I tend to use like some variant of, like if you're going to text editor, like you see this is the typical selection color. So we should probably use that. But this is a good patch just by itself to implement support for alpha channels in FillRect. This code is super not optimized. Like you could make this so much faster if you used, you know, SIMD, or even just you could just be clever even without SIMD. But someone at some point should go through Painter and SIMD, ify most of it, and things would just, the whole system would just get so much faster when we do that. Because this code is running like all the time. Painter. The draw side. Support. And support for alpha. Alpha course with alpha in Painter FillRect. This code is pretty naive, but it works and looks okay. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't do this yet, the SIMD stuff. Like, I guess I haven't really felt like sitting down with it. It just, I don't know, it seems like this thing to me that's just going to take up a lot of time, and I don't know why. It just hasn't struck me yet. But someday. Unless someone else gets to it first, which would be fine too. You know, I don't mind. I'm always happy when someone goes and works on something that I want to do, but I just don't feel motivated to do right now. Those things are awesome. Like waking up in the morning and finding a pull request of something I knew had to be done, but I just didn't feel like doing it yet. Okay, did I advertise this enough yet? SIMD, the Painter. Anyway, let's change that color to be the typical Serenity selection color, which is 0x something right here. This should probably be a global constant somewhere, as much as I use it, but from RGB, and you know, here, actually we can use this as the border around the rect, and then we'll fill the rect with, from RGBA, we'll put some cool alpha value here, like 40. I don't know what this will look like. We'll see. This doesn't look nice. Maybe it's a little too dark, actually. Let's grab the old GIMP and come here. All right, and crank up the thingy here a little bit, give ourselves something else to work with. Or, well, why am I doing this? I already have this. We already have window colors. Where are those these days? I guess they're in the config file, actually, yeah. The active window border 2. I think that's the one we want. All right, fine. We'll do it that way. Active window border. Border 2. I think these are the right colors. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, hold on. I wanted some alpha. Wow, very tasteful. But let's show a little more of that skin color. Okay, see, now we're starting to talk here. Boop. That's so cool. You can see the CPU usage here when I'm doing the rubber band. It's pretty paint heavy, but it's okay. But yeah, the SIMD stuff definitely would help us not look like that. And of course, we could probably paint less as well, because right now we're repainting the whole thing, and we could like limit ourselves to painting only the union of the current rubber band rect and the previous rubber band rect, because that's actually the only thing that you need to repaint. Likewise, when a widget is selected or deselected, I think we also repaint the whole form. We could only repaint that widget. You know, things like that. Like, there's a lot of optimization that can be done here. Hack Studio. Fill the rubber band selection. Fill the selection rubber band with some alpha. Make use of the new alpha support in Painter. Fill rect to paint the rubber band. To fill band with some color, see-through color. All right. So I think this is going to be it for today's video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching, for hanging out while I implement rubber band selection in Hack Studio. This is really, really neat, and I'm very happy with it. So another productive little session. I hope you saw something interesting here, and I will see you next time.